Hello, everybody. The name of the show is Appeal to Reason, and you can find it on YouTube and on Rumble. So this week, liberal women have not been doing themselves any favors, kind of like Caitlyn Jenner did not do any favors to female drivers. It seems like every day there has been a liberal woman either on a news channel doing an interview, or it could be during a confirmation hearing. There's a liberal woman just screaming and yelling and screeching at a Republican man or woman in the case of Tulsi Gabbard today. So they complain about, there not being enough women in politics. Well, behavior like this is very off-putting for myself, and it seems like to a lot of, men or women that I see out there talking about this kind of stuff. So it all led off on Sunday with Margaret Brennan interviewing J.D. Vance. Let's go ahead and have a look at what unfolded there.
It's a very basic principle in American immigration law that if you want to become an American citizen and you've done it the right way, and the American people in their collective wisdom have welcomed you into our national community, then you become a citizen. But temporary residents, people who come in here, whether legally or illegally, and don't plan to stay, their children should become American citizens. I don't know any country that does that or why we would be different.
Well, this is a country founded by immigrants.
Well, this is a country founded by...
country.
This is a very unique country, and it was founded by some immigrants and some settlers, but just because we were founded by immigrants doesn't mean that 240 years later that we have to have the dumbest immigration policy in the world. No country says that temporary visitors, their children, will be given complete access to the benefits and blessings of American citizenship. America should actually look out for the interests of our citizens first, and that means, again, if you're here permanently and lawfully, your kid becomes an American citizen. If you're not here permanently, if you're not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and don't plan to be, why would we make those people's children American citizens permanently?
So, I mentioned this last week in my video that I'm pretty sure we're the only country that I can think of that has this law about birthright citizenship. It makes no sense. It's really great to see Trump and his administration going after this issue. I feel like it's the first time that anyone of note, definitely the first time a president has brought up this issue. It's something that should have been done away with a long time ago, and I'm glad that we're making some work towards that. I don't know if it's going to happen under this Trump administration or not, but at least someone's talking about it in mainstream politics for once. So let's go ahead and go to another clip of J.D. Vance with Margaret and see what else unfolds there.
I don't agree that all these immigrants or all these refugees have been properly vetted. In fact, we know that there are cases of people who allegedly were properly vetted and then were literally planning terrorist attacks on our country. That happened during the campaign, if you may remember. So clearly not all of these foreign nationals have been properly vetted.
But there are 30,000 people in the pipeline, Afghan refugees.
But my primary concern as the vice president, Margaret, is to look after the American people. And now that we know that we have vetting problems with a lot of these refugee programs, we absolutely cannot unleash thousands of unvetted people into our country. It's not good.
These people are vetted.
Just like the guy who planned a terrorist attack in Oklahoma a few months ago, he was allegedly properly vetted. And many people in the media and the Democratic Party said that he was properly vetted. Clearly he wasn't. I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly vetted. And because I don't want it for my kids, I'm not going to force any other American citizens' kids to do that either.
No, and that was a very particular case. It wasn't clear if he was radicalized when he got here or while he was living here.
I don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me.
I love that response from Vance. I'm predicting it right now that in 2028, there will be Vance for President rallies, and the most popular sign that people are going to be, holding up in the background on camera, standing right behind him on stage, it's going to say, "I really don't care, Margaret." He's going to definitely capitalize on this and campaign off of this in the future when I'm very confident that he's going to probably run for president in a couple of years. So the next clip I have is of Kristen Gillibrand. She's from New York. So you know that she's going to be a crazy leftist. She was interviewing and questioning Pete Hegseth in his confirmation hearing this week. So let's go ahead and have a look at that clip and see what those two got into it over.
In your statement, you don't want politics in the DOD. Everything you've said in these public statements is politics. I don't want women. I don't want moms. What's wrong with a mom, by the way? Once you have babies, you therefore are no longer able to be lethal.
I've never disparaged women serving in the military. I respect every single female service member that has put on the uniform, past and present. My critiques, Senator, recently and in the past, and from personal experience, have been instances where I've seen standards lower.
So she, like many other Democrats, just doesn't understand basic biology at all. There are stark contrasts between men and women and their physical capabilities. Obviously, anyone could tell you that if you just watch one men's basketball game versus a women's basketball game. It's going to be glaringly obvious to anyone. And she chooses just to ignore that, and they want to lower, as the Biden administration did, the physical requirements for people in combat situations, for women in combat situations. And Pete just wants to have the same standards. There's going to be some amazing, athletic, strong women that will be able to pass the same requirements as men, but there aren't going to be that many of them. But in the name of equity and inclusion, we need to lower the standards. And doing that isn't going to help anybody. It's not going to help the women that you put in those situations. It's just going to be a bad situation for them and the men that, they're serving with in those combat situations. You just can't make this stuff up. There's another clip that I want to show of Folksahontas with RFK getting into it in RFK's hearing. Let's have a look.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You have said
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country. And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it. Kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Senator, I support vaccines. I support the childhood schedule. I will do that. The only thing I want is good science, and that's it.
When did it become part of the Democrat Party platform to protect these giant corporate pharmaceutical companies? They like to talk about Republicans and corporate welfare. Well, it seems definitely like the parties have definitely switched over at this point when it comes to these giant corporations that they're trying to protect. And this guy just wants to get Americans to be healthy again. And he's been lampooned constantly since he teamed up with Trump to try and make this happen. 75% of health problems and diseases in this country are caused by lifestyle. So smoking, not exercising, eating too many calories. I would love to see, I've never heard this idea proposed by anyone before, just something that I came up with. And it's that, if you are a healthy person, you should pay 25% of what, an unhealthy person is paying for their insurance premiums every month. They could do a physical exam every year to determine that, okay, you're healthy, you've got a good BMI, you're obviously eating well, you're not smoking, you're exercising. So, yeah, that would incentivize people to be healthy more than anything else that I can think of. Because, if you're going to make these people put their money where their mouth is instead of, filling their mouth with Twinkies and Big Macs every day, you're going to see people really start to take care of themselves much more, I feel like. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, share the video with your friends, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.